You know that feeling, right? That inner static, that awkward pause in a conversation, that little sense of unease you can't quite put your finger on. Our first instinct is always to crush it, to fill the silence, to fix whatever feels off. But what if we've been looking at it all wrong? Today, we're going to explore noise, not as a problem to be solved, but as the very birthplace of meaning.
Okay, let's really dive into this. We all experience that mental static right before a big decision, or that weird, awkward silence in a conversation. And our first instinct is to just get rid of it, right? But what if that noise is actually the most important part of the entire process? What if it's the raw material for everything that comes next?
So, to really get a handle on this new perspective, we first have to admit what our default setting is. For most of us, and definitely for most of our culture, noise is seen as the enemy.
I mean, think about it. That moment of silence in a chat, we scramble to fill it with something, anything. That fuzzy feeling of not being sure before making a choice, we just want a clear answer, and we want it now. All this static, whether it's emotional or social, it feels like a failure, like a bug in the system that we have to fix immediately.
But what if that bug is actually a feature? This is where we need to totally flip our perspective on what noise is, to see it not as the absence of meaning, but as the moment that comes right before it.
And here's the core idea, the heart of it all. Every single time a new insight, a new feeling, or a new idea is about to form, it's always preceded by this state of fluctuation, of uncertainty. That noise isn't an error in the process, it is the process. It's kind of like the zero layer of meaning.
So this redefinition is absolutely crucial. Noise isn't just chaos we need to get rid of. No, it's the precursor to meaning. It's information that just hasn't been given a direction yet. It's a field of pure, untapped potential. Just imagine it as this state of free-flowing energy. It holds the possibility for literally any outcome, but it hasn't committed to one just yet. It's a blank space from which all structure emerges, the raw data before it becomes a clear signal.
Okay, so if noise is all this potential, how do we actually transform it into meaning? Well, this brings us to the core mechanic of this whole idea, what we can call the breath of silence.
See, meaning isn't something we force. It emerges. It happens when we do this thing, this act of breathing with the noise. And what that means is holding that static, that uncertainty, without judging it. We don't try to solve it, we just hold it, sit with it, contemplate it, until a subtle pattern starts to reveal itself. And what's fascinating is that this idea isn't universal at all. Different cultures approach this noise in completely opposite ways. For instance, traditional Japanese culture really values the ma. That's the generative pause, the interval. It's a practice of holding the noise. On the flip side, a lot of Western cultural frameworks are all about cutting through the ambiguity to get to a clear, decisive conclusion as fast as possible. One holds, the other cuts. It's a really fundamental difference in the whole ethics of silence itself.
This breath is so critical. It's not just about passively waiting around. It's an active kind of contemplation. It's the act of watching your own process of observation. You're not trying to force an interpretation out of the noise, you're just holding the space open, allowing a pattern to form all on its own.
You know what? Let's try that for a moment. Just a few seconds of silence.
In this space, that inner static, it isn't an enemy. It's a field of pure possibility. It's the precursor, just waiting for a new structure to emerge.
So, what does all this actually mean for us? Let's take a look at how this new understanding of noise can be applied to our lives right now.
Honestly, this concept applies everywhere. On a personal level, it totally reframes things like anxiety. Instead of being a failure, maybe that feeling is the energy of change itself, a sign that a part of you is in flux, ready for something new. Culturally, just think of social media. It's a constant stream of noise without any of that contemplative breath. It's just instant reaction, which leaves us feeling drained, not enlightened. And even with technology, an AI creates its incredible outputs by navigating its own kind of probabilistic noise, sifting through all these fluctuations to find patterns and create meaning.
And all of this leads us to one final, really profound challenge, a whole new way of being in the world. And that leaves us with this one final, crucial question. Can we learn to treat the noise in our lives, in our culture, not as an enemy that we have to destroy, but as a future that simply hasn't taken form yet? It's a huge shift from trying to control the world to participating in its continuous unfolding creation. Something to think about.